Okay, yeah, now the sound should be okay. This stream is never going to work okay. I don't know. I'm not paid for streaming. Never mind. I don't really. I mean, yeah, okay. I think I'll get the hang of it eventually. So, what was I saying before I turned on the sound? Um, I was saying that there was this attempt to start using the native Storybook Angular executor for um, for Storybook configurations for Angular projects. Why? Because right now we're invoking the Storybook target, the normal Storybook runs, which is basically a wrapper around the build dev standalone of Storybook. This may lead to inconsistencies between the native Storybook result and the Nx result, plus it brings the need for maintenance. That is true in a way. The good thing is that Storybook uses Nx, and Storybook for Angular it exports an executor that is compatible with Nx and Nx can use directly. So what we can do is that inside a project JSON, inside our project JSON, inside the Storybook target, we can use directly the Storybook Angular Storybook executor. The good thing with that is that we would expect to have the exact same result that Storybook has when using our application. That works in most cases. It may not work in some niche use cases where you want to share, for example, some build configuration with your serve target, or you want to include some styles and the styles cannot be imported from the build into the serve and vice versa. So the thing is that this could work, but we really need to sit down and see in which cases this works and in which cases it does not work. Why? Because there may be some cases where... Actually, let's try it out. The way to try this out would be to change Storybook executor. Go into the branch. Let me replace with master first. I have some conflicts. So now you will see what is my process of, I don't even know what this is. What? I changed some of these things, but why? Packages. Oh, accept incoming change. Accepts incoming change, and I'm going to regenerate this, and it doesn't really matter. And let's see the schema.json. What changed? Accept. Why are these? I'm trying to understand why these are not in there. Oh, why no why? Accept incoming change. So yeah, what I had done was a configuration. Okay. Accept incoming change. Yeah. Now that everything is resolved, let's continue. We can continue the rebase, git log, change Angular generator. Okay, git commit. Let's do this here in documentation. Let's make sure that our documentation looks good. And let's install npm install again. Git diff. Okay. Git. Okay. Okay. So now, if I want to start developing locally, first use Node 16 and then install. And once I install, I can do build. And once I build, wait, am I using the correct version of Node? Yarn build. Once I build, let me split to the right. Once I build, I can start a local registry. One failed. Let's wait for our next build. The reason I want to build is to try and create an Nx Workspace locally, and I'm going to create a buildable library, buildable application, buildable library, non-buildable library, and that application, and see how these three things change. I'm not sure I would have to try this from scratch, but I'm going to do it anyhow. Wait, so let's try yarn build again from scratch. Okay. It shouldn't take much time. So when I build an X and I have my local Verdasio running, what I will do is I will create a new Nx workspace with this new feature. Actually, I don't really have to use this because these are not huge differences that I've introduced. So I could just tweak something existing, but I think it's going to be more interesting if I create something from scratch. And I will create a workspace that does not contain an Angular JSON because I want to see how Storybook would behave in non-Angular JSON environments. Okay, we're almost there. We're done. So yarn local registry I have enabled. I will start it and yarn the next release. And I will do a local release. Okay. Okay, I have 3 viewers. Actually 2 because one of the 3 viewers is myself. That's sad, right? Okay, so as you can see now, I'm publishing my local version of Nx on my local NPM registry. It shouldn't take much longer. Let me create a new tab here in Warp. I really, really like Warp. I'm going to say it again and again. Test Nx Workspaces. I'm going to make the stream. And in here, it's done. I'm going to create a new. Okay, I think here and my workspace. And while I create, yes, I want to install this version of Create the Nx Workspace. As you can see, it's taking things from here. I want to create an apps one. No, I don't want an Nextcloud now. I'm not sharing my screen now because I want to check something. Oh, okay. Okay, let me continue sharing my screen. I wonder if, okay, I think today I have a very good video quality. I'm watching this on my phone. I think I have a very good video quality today. I'm very satisfied. Maybe I'm so satisfied that I will upload this to YouTube afterwards. Maybe not. And in any case, so we have this ready now. And let me add all the packages that I need. I want Norwell Storybook and Norwell Angular. I don't want Norwell React. And I want 9991, 9991. I want these two to be added. And once these are added, I want to start generating things using Nx console because I don't think there's any point in not using Nx console anywhere, if you ask my opinion. Okay, all my packages are added now. So let me create one application. Oh, wait, what's going on? Hey, I added Angular and Storybook, right? So, packages. No, I didn't add them yet. Oh, my workspace. Classic mistake. Okay, Now that I have a Storybook and Angular, I can go in my Nx console and generate first an Angular application, ng app, and let's generate it with SCSS because I'm going to be importing preprocessor things. Yeah, whatever. Copy. Okay. Okay, let me put this here. And after I'm done with that, I want to generate libraries. I want to generate an Angular library, ng lib lib build because it's buildable. Okay, let's wait for it to finish. I don't know. Let's give it a moment to finish. Almost there. Okay, while it's finishing, let's just add some things to our component here. Just some inputs, you know. Not that we really need this, but just to have some controls. Input. And then, actually I always do this. Input name, Katerina, input age. Well, I'm not 25 and I don't want age to be a string. I'm still 33. Input is active true, yeah, sure. I usually put this happy. This is what I'll do now. And I don't want this, so let's delete this. Move to trash. App module. I don't want this. I don't want this. And in here, I don't want this either. Hello. Name. Hello. Okay. It doesn't even matter, but my name is name. My age is age. I am happy. Sad. So I have now some inputs which are going to be, because when I generate the stories, I just want to have the controls. It doesn't really matter, but just as an extra test to the, what's it called, to our new executor. So let's do the Angular library now. Lib build buildable. Generate a buildable library. Do I need anything else? No. Let me copy the command. Copy. Okay. And then I'm going to generate a component inside my buildable library. Again, I have 3 viewers. So what I'm trying to do is, okay, I'll generate a component inside my buildable library. Or first, lib not, which means not buildable. Okay, let's agree to that, which is non-buildable. And okay, the only difference is going to be inside of the project JSON. We're going to see now. So let's see what we generate. We have our ng app, and in the buildable, if we look into project JSON, it has a build target, ng packager light, and inside the non-buildable, it does not have a build target, right? So that's the difference. And the executor inside your application is just a normal build Angular executor. So let's look at what we've done now. Actually, let's commit all these new. Oh, let me make sure. Let me see something. Okay, I want to have a component as well for each of these libraries. Sorry, just to have the stories. Okay, I want an arrow component one, and oops, come on, one, and it's going to be inside lib buildable. I want to be a CSS, and I want to export it as well. Doesn't really matter. Does not really matter, I'm telling you, but okay. To export it, I mean, it doesn't really matter. And for two, name two inside lib not, and export it as well. So now I have two components as well. So now let me also copy all the inputs and everything in these components too. Why? Because I want to see if they're going to be rendered properly, which they are. I'm telling you, they are going to be rendered properly. Yes, and I don't want any it. Go away. And these the same inputs inside too. Okay, and here, let me copy this very nice memo. I swear I never went to an AA meeting because I never drank much alcohol, which was usually a topic of mockery for some reason, but that's a topic for my therapist. So git commit generated some Angular things, some Angular projects I should have written. So now that we have generated these, let's go and generate Storybook configuration for all of these. ng app first. Yes, I want everything for yes. Now let's wait for all the things to be installed, all the dependencies for Storybook to be installed. But let's see what we generated first. So, okay, we have our story now with the controls that I wanted. Yeah, it's getting installed. That's why it's getting error. Let's see the project JSON now. So the project JSON now looks like, where is it? This. So inside our Storybook executor, we are using the native Storybook Angular Storybook executor, and in here we provide the ng app build as a broader target, and the same thing we are doing for the build Storybook, right? We are doing the build Storybook. We're invoking the build Storybook from Storybook Angular, okay? So we're just going to be using these native things here. We're still installing. Okay. Okay, after this install, we're going to do the same for lib buildable and lib not buildable. And then we're going to run these and we're going to see that they work. Okay. Lib buildable. Yes. Lib not buildable. Yes. Generated storybook configs for everything. Okay, so let's going to see how this is going to look inside the project JSON of the buildable library. We have a build target. So inside the storybook target, we want the lib buildable lib. But inside the non-buildable library, if we take a look, it's calling recursively build storybook. I think this is going to work because in the other case, it works when we provide the project build config. But let's make sure. First, let's run Nx Storybook ng app and make sure it works. So it should work. So as you see, it invokes directly the Storybook Angular start Storybook executor, and it's working as expected. Hi, Zach and Jeff. I don't know if you're still watching, but hello, I just saw your comment. So as we see it worked, again, let's make sure that everything is rendered properly. Hello, my name is Katerina. I'm 33 and I'm happy. And again, for those of you who did not hear it, I do not go to AA meetings. And okay, everything is rendered as expected. So let's see if we run, the build is going to work just fine in the same way, but lib buildable, the lib buildable, let me close my Twitter. The lib buildable is going to, let's see if it's going to work properly. So the buildable, I guess it's going to work in the same way since, again, we are just, yeah, using, invoking, oh, couldn't find any stories. Why could we not find any stories? That's an interesting question. Oh, that's nice. We did not generate stories for it. Oh, because we didn't export it from here. Declare it actually. Okay. One component. Actually, no, it doesn't need to be exported. So, okay, let's declare it here and let's declare it here as well. And let's one compo. Oh, two components, sorry. Two component. And now let's do the stories generator. Stories for lib buildable. Okay. But in any case, it worked. I want to generate stories, lib not buildable, and yes, now we have our stories. And if I run story, sorry, Malone is messing up everything on my desk. Okay, so we see that still the buildable library works by using the native Angular executor, but let's see if the non-buildable works. Holding my breath here. And I'm not literally holding my breath, but I really wonder if it's going to work. Okay, it works. Yes, it works just fine. Okay, so even the non-buildable library, even the non-buildable library works. Why is this a surprise? I'm not sure actually, but we're just pointing here what it should be using. So now let's try something else. Now we're going to try to create some references and use the style preprocessor options, okay? And this is the last thing we're going to test today to see if it works. And then I'm going to create a document to document all the use cases. So, um, where is it? Leaves. Okay, let's copy this layout here. Okay, let me um, created stories. So now if I create a new library, I have a new library and I'm going inside the library to add this here. Inside src, inside lib, paste. And now I have this here. And the ts, I'm going and using inside my, where am I using this? Okay. Inside my app src. So if I go, let's go to all of our styles. And use this. I'm using H1, right? I think the Hello Katerina is in H1, perfect. If I do this here, and then I go into my libs, into my inside here, and then in my non-buildable library, in my CSS, and I put this here. So now I have everything that I need. And if I copy my style preprocessor options, okay, let's see. If I go into my ng app and in the project JSON, and inside the build of my app, right? I add the style preprocessor options and I do nx serve ng app, serve my server. I would expect Angular to, in the build target, because this is an Angular build target, to read the style preprocessor options and just show the header as blue, right? Let's see what we have. Okay, it's blue, so it's taking up the style preprocessor options. If I do the same thing I would expect for Storybook in this case, because here in my Storybook, because I have the build target, it's invoking this. So if I would do Nx Storybook ng-app, I would expect it to pick up the style preprocessor options, right? Bye, Jeff. Streamaro, eh? And it failed. Why did it fail? Let's see. Ah, so here is the issue. It does not take this from here. But if I take this and I put it in here, it's going to read it. So for some reason I do not know, Storybook does not read the options from the build target here. And it needs to be told specifically where the style preprocessor option, what the style preprocessor options are for Storybook. Is this a bug of Storybook? Is this a bug of Nx? I don't know. So now you see that I added specifically the style preprocessor options in here, and now Storybook knows. The thing that we supported with Nx is that when you add build here in the project build config, it goes and reads these settings here, right? So there's no problem of adding the style preprocessor options in here specifically. So now at least we know what the issue is. If I do the same thing with our buildable library, and I go into the project JSON of my buildable library, and I add this here, I don't even think, yeah, ng packager lite does not even accept style preprocessor options. So I go into Storybook and I put this here inside the options, and it would work. Nx Storybook lib buildable, and it would run just fine. This is the old one, sorry. However, if I wanted to build, it would throw an error. Actually, let's try something. Now this is going to work, but let's try something else. So if I were to put here build storybook, and in here build storybook, I wonder what would happen. Yeah, now it works. But if I run it again with the new executor, yeah, I'm going to finish this demo and then I'm going to sign off. But I think you're getting what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to see if using the native Storybook executor, I can still share options from other targets, which I don't think I can. So this still works if I point it to the build Storybook target as was expected. But the issue is this, that if I put these inside the build Storybook target, I would expect if this was using the Nx executor, the Nx executor would look into the build storybook options because we're specifying the target here. It would look and it would take these style preprocessor options. Now that we're using the native storybook executor, it's not going to do that. I think it's going to throw an error telling us that it cannot find the paths, the CSS paths. And I'm going to look at the same thing in the Angular library. Yeah, so you see it does not find it. It does not find the style sheet to import. Why? Because it does not have these paths here. So we need to specifically include the paths in order for Storybook to find it. It does not actually look into the target and take the options, which is quite weird. So yeah, maybe this is something that I could reach out to the Storybook team and ask about it, right? So let's look at the libnot. Yeah, this one is not going to run because I haven't added the side preprocessor options yet. So I'm going to add them first here. Yep, like this. And I want to expect, yeah, this is going to throw an error. And now that I added the styles, I want to expect that it's going to take them. And the same thing will happen when I build. If I don't add the style preprocessor options here, yeah, okay, it did not work as we said, but now that I added the styles, it's not going to give me a SAS error. So yeah, to sum up, everything works as a charm when I have the Storybook Angular build Storybook Executor. However, and the start Storybook Executor, the native Storybook Executors. However, I cannot get build options or executor options from other places across my code, from other targets. Despite specifying a target, I cannot get the options of another target. Does that make sense? A good question would be what's happening in a native Angular application. What time is it? It's 9:10. Okay, I'm going to give this 5 minutes. Yeah, of course it works now. So let me add everything and I'm going to put this on GitHub. Added style preprocessor options. Let me put this on GitHub. I'll put it afterwards. Okay, ng new which version of the Angular CLI do I have? Is it the latest? I don't know. First use 16. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's new enough. Is it? ng new test app. Use 14. I don't know. ng new test app. Stricter type checking. No, I don't care now. No, I don't want Angular routing. I want SCSS. Thank you, Angular. So now I think nvxsb neat Storybook Angular. Yeah, npxsb init And then I just want to copy these targets here. Let's wait for it to compile. So the thing I want to test now is if in just a pure Angular workspace with pure Storybook, if I add in my Angular application build target the style preprocessor options, I want to see if Storybook will pick it up. The answer is no, it will not pick it up. This is what I bet my money on. But the question would be, do we want to support this in Nx? And my answer would be yes, because if we stop supporting it, it means that we would drop a feature. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would mean that we would drop a feature if we stop supporting it. However, we could still use that inside our executor by using the run executor command, of course, but is it something we want? I don't know. So test up npx sb needs, yes. And let me open a new window and let me open the app I just created. Okay, it's 14 past. It's really past the time I was hoping to have finished. Stream test app. Copy. So the Storybook tells you run npx sbinit, which will install dependencies, and it will produce some samples for me to work with. And it also says to update my Angular JSON to include Storybook's custom builder. So if I go in my Angular JSON and inside the architect, right after the build target, I'm just going to put these. Okay. So, and Angular CLI, no, it's test up. Okay, yes. And one more thing I want to do is I'm going to copy this folder here, the DS folder, and I'm going to paste it in here. And inside my I'm going to rename this to button as CSS, okay? Or to header, I don't even know. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it? No, it does not matter at all. And inside here, I'm going to do use DS and here I'm going to do remove this And I'm going to do background color button. Background color, I want it to be, how was it? Yeah, DS blue. And inside my Angular JSON, I'm going to add my style preprocessor options, build options, or is it, here it's, where is it? SRC, SRC, DS, right? Oh yeah, and then I didn't. Oh, okay, let me find other thing. New folder, design system, and in here I'm going to put this design system. Okay, now if I do ng serve, I expect it to work. I really expect it to. Oh, yeah, but I haven't used it, have I? Very nice. And inside my app, use the app component h1. Hello. So here I just want h1 color to be that. And let me, I don't even think I need to restart the server in any case. So now I expect it to, where is it? Localhost. Okay, it's blue, you see? But the thing is now that, yeah, of course it's different, right? Because now Storybook is just, okay, it's just taking the stories, so it doesn't really matter. So Storybook is taking the stories from anything that has stories in it, right? So in my Angular builder, I have the style preprocessor options, and we see that it's been processed correctly because we see that our hello is blue. But now, if I run Storybook, and so if I do ng run, sorry. So now if I do ng run test app Storybook, ng run test app Storybook, I would expect it to read the build target of my app and get the style preprocessor options, right? But it will not do that, I think. These errors are irrelevant, these errors. So, oh, it worked. Button. It didn't work because it did not get the background, the blue background that I wanted, right? However, it did not throw an error, and I was expecting it to throw an error. Let's remove this button SCSS. I don't even know. I'll look into it some other time, I guess. Let me move this out of here. Maybe no. Yeah, let's leave it here. Oh, so it worked. Interesting. It did work. It did get the button I wanted. So, okay. Then we have to understand why Nx does not get the side preprocessor options from here. That's nice, actually. Okay. So, long story short, the stream is over now. I mean, the code sharing part of the stream is over now. The thing I tried to do today to wrap up is to see how effectively and how seamlessly Nx can use the native Storybook Angular executor and still work exactly as the normal Storybook setup does, and also like work seamlessly. It seems that there are some differences, like it's picking up the options from, if there's an Angular JSON, it's picking up the options from there, from the build target. But yeah, I really have to look into that to understand what's going on. But in all the other cases, it seems that it's working fine. So I'm going to end the stream now. Thank you very much for watching. I think I'm going to put this up on YouTube because it was not chunky, it was not flaky, and I think it had some interesting things in it. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.